Hi,
Hey, what's up?
oh,
What's
welcome
up?
to week 3 of the headache.
The headache marches on.
Headache marches on. How are we at? This is episode 4 of season 6 of.
We haven't got past 2 in a while, so
No, we did it. We did it last week. Yeah, we did it last week.
yeah, we had
Back.
episode 3 where we.
Yeah.
What did we do? I'm trying to
Well,
remember.
we mourned the death of Mungo.
Of course, we were
And
doing. We'll be doing that for the rest of the season.
So we mourned the death of Mungo. We kicked about in a kind of hut for a while.
That's right.
And we did bits and bobs, and basically this episode's called Crystal Tips, which you might be too young for. There was a TV show. There was a TV show when I was young called Crystal Tips and Alistair. It was about this it was a cartoon, and it was this girl with triangular hair, and she had a dog called Alistair, and it's only because the cliffhanger involved like finding a crystal.
Oh, okay.
That's literally the only reason why this episode is called.
Wait, did we have to find a crystal?
Yeah, basically.
We could have sat down in a chair that would have strangled us. I remember that, but we didn't.
Yep, you decide you've gone far enough northwest to avoid the headhunters' village and begin to cut your way directly west through the jungle. You've not gone far and you're surprised to enter a small clearing completely free of vegetation and a large green crystal lies
completely free of vegetarians.
Vegetarian, yeah, exactly, gluten-free. And a large green crystal. A large green crystal lies in the centre of the clearing, glowing and radiating heat. And you've got a choice of like kind of stuff with the crystal or walking around it. So that was the cliffhanger we ended on.
I could use one of those in work.
A radioactive crystal?
A wee glowing crystal that radiates heat. Just.
Is it cold right now in your work?
It is. They're trying to fix the heating.
I don't know what's know what's going on. It was like snowing last week, and we've had like really. It just feels nice. It feels like it's colder now than when it was actually legitimately winter. Apart from when it hit -10. There you go. That's the stage we're at. Season 6, we're talking about the weather.
We've had so much fun on Lizard Island.
We've had so much fun.
Sorry, no, it's Fire Island, isn't it?
It's Island of the Lizard King. And
the name of the
Fire Island is called Fire Island.
Oh, okay.
Is that not like a Netflix documentary about some festival that?
No, that's Tiger King.
No, is there? No, that's Breaking Bad. No, is there not like a Netflix? Is there not a Netflix documentary about that festival that was an absolute disaster?
Oh, right. Yeah. Wait, is that the funny one or the scary one? Because there's one that was like it was meant to be like the biggest music event.
And it was just was that not Fire Island?
Yeah, was that Fire Island? Oh, I think it might have been actually. Yeah.
So basically, you're on fire. I don't know. We need to find out.
We're gonna go there, and there's gonna be Kid Rock not getting paid. Like I think a lot of people got sick and stuff as well. There was like loads of horrible things happened.
Yeah.
I can't remember so well. It was a while ago.
There wasn't a giant crab that cuts your pal into.
No, although by the sounds of things from the documentary, it wouldn't have been as bad as some of the other stuff that happened. It definitely would have been worth remembering, though.
I think we should find this out now. But how do you find out?
What do you mean, how do you find that out? Google it?
Yeah, but do you Google Fire Island or do you Google what was that Netflix documentary about the shitty?
I just Googled Fire Island.
Yeah, but you're just going to go, that's the home of the Lizard King. The worst.
Apparently it's a romantic comedy film that came out last year.
That's definitely not. Unless, who knows how you and the Lizard King will end up.
So hold on.
Never say never. What a twist that would be. You become the Lizard King consort.
I'm the Lizard King's wife.
The Lizard King's.
Nigel Havers is the Lizard King's wife.
Nigel Havers is the lizard. Well, there can be lizard king and lizard. Well, but that's the thing, right? Okay, see if you had a king.
Yes.
who
It's
just
it's the Fire Festival. FYRE, the Fire
right,
Festival.
okay, see, well, there we go. We were close. I knew that it was related. Right, but see if you're a king. See if you're a king, and you just go, look, I'm the king. I'm in love with this man.
Mhm.
We're getting married now because it's legal. It's legit. Let's do this, right?
Sure. Well,
What happens then? What happens? Because, like, say a king married you,
right?
Because you're in love. You wouldn't be the king. There can't be two kings, right? But you also, it would be really weird if you because what would happen would be
would one not be king and one would be king consort?
No, well, that's kind of what they're. Is that not kind of what they've done with Camilla? Right, because what they did with the actual, with the Queen was Philip wasn't King Philip, it was Prince Philip because King's considered a kind of higher rank than Queen, if you will, for whatever reason, and that's why he wasn't the king.
Sure.
So she was Queen and he was Prince. So of course, if the King married you, you couldn't be King. But if you were Prince, that'd be dead creepy because it'd be like kind of going, "Oh, that's his boy."
I think I'd still rather just be Queen.
I don't know. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, you can ask. I mean,
I can ask. Can I pick my own title? You can ask.
Charles,
You're king.
But that's right. That's what they've done with Camilla. She's not like King's consort, which
they shouldn't make it King's consort. They should make it King's hussy.
King's hussy.
I'll be a hussy.
King hussy. That's King Gussie. Now, is that where you're from? From King's hussy. Anyway, before we could get beheaded for this or some shit, I don't know.
Oh, it can behead anyone anymore. I wonder what the conditions would have to be for the judge to be like, all right, you can behead him. What would you have to do?
You can still get killed for treason, can't you?
I think you could, if you fart on the king's meringue, that's you can be beheaded for if you just full open ass cheeks.
Yeah, and rightly so, because
souffle.
Because of the porous nature of meringue, it takes on all the sense and the taste. It's
meringue's very sensitive. It actually increases in size in terms of muddy color, just from being around it.
Just like when I make meringues, then.
Yeah.
I'm meringue maker to the king.
The king's chief meringue maker.
King's chief meringue maker. I mean, that's what happens if the king falls in love with you, and rather than become queen, you become king's chief meringue maker. Which now that I've said that, sounds really disgusting.
Yeah, meringue maker.
I'm your meringue maker.
I'm gonna make meringues with the king.
Like an elaborate cream pie.
I'm gonna melt pearls on his back.
Anyway, wouldn't it be great if we did, as a consequence of this, get tried for treason?
And then we get a bad read in the court, and there's just someone reading it out like.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Next week's episode would have thousands of viewers.
It would. We might have more audience participation then, at least. Mostly people. Mostly people decrying our lack of patriotism.
Well, that's the thing as well, isn't it? Because like that's the one thing that in the UK you're guaranteed. If you start having a conversation about the royal family, and just bearing in mind that we are talking about an evil lizard here, and our royal family aren't evil alien lizards by any stretch of the imagination. I can't imagine anybody thinking otherwise. But if you're having a conversation about the royal family, basically it's a 50-50 proposition whether somebody's going to go, ha, or can you say that, mate? Or
I like the Queen.
Yeah, or yeah. So you're always dividing the room.
Yeah, it's
with royal family talk. And I will just remind people this is a fictional evil lizard.
Yeah, It must be the same in like America with the flag or whatever it is they care about.
That's the American equivalent of our entire kind of
Pretty much.
royal family is the flag, and you're
Well,
absolutely right. You get people that kind of go,
the monarch of a nation is the physical embodiment. It's like the physical symbol of that nation, a
yeah,
monarch. Whereas the flag is just a symbolic symbol of their nation.
a
So
symbolic
it's
symbol.
pretty
That's
much the same thing.
that's twice as symbolic.
Yeah, it's both a symbol and is symbolic of the entire nation.
Fair enough. And of course, you do get people in America that, because the flag in America, is that not like people kind of say, oh, you can't burn the flag, blah, blah, blah. And then you get another contingent of people that say, well, do you know what? My granddad fought in wars for the right for us to burn this flag if we so desired. They kind of go, all right. So that's, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's probably the equivalent.
For other things, does that work for other things? My grandfather fought for the right for me to touch these kids. Does that work?
I think, yeah.
Father fought and died. He wrote in a letter that this is what he was fighting for. He wrote home, I have the letter in my pocket. My grandfather fought and he died for me to be at this play park right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then you say, you say, it's in this pocket, get it yourself.
I just realized someone could really someone malicious minded could really clip that last bit and make me look like a monster. Could really just cut it up.
Or they could just play the whole thing and just have it verified.
Oh yeah, they could just play it unedited and it would be the same effect.
Yeah, no, I don't know if we do ourselves any favors in that regard.
I don't really mind. Nobody knows who I am. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I shared a video clip with you that we won't talk about of one of our comedy sets recently, which let's face it, if that got out there.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though.
Well,
that's what's important.
Absolutely, and 100% true, and was also. It was a comedy of errors. It was a misunderstanding.
Yeah,
I'm making this worse. I should just tell people.
Yeah, we should probably. You should probably not like. It's kind of like in court or in like newspapers whenever they're talking about a joke and they're like, the joke was awful. It was disgusting. Here is the joke.
Want to know the joke?
No, but they give you it. They're always like, "Here's the joke." Well, that's kind of what you're doing right now. It's like you're referring to something that's like backstage, and you're like, "So let me start describing around the edges of it and gradually get closer." Dangerous. You're on a slippery slope right now.
If anybody watching wants to see the set, I'll just forward it to you.
Yeah, that works. Just if you really want to know, just ask. Imagine they did that on like TV shows. Like you like watch TV, it's like look, I've got a really, really disgusting story here. But if you want to know it, just message in and I'll text it to you.
Just slide into my DMs.
Yeah, you know where to find me. I'm on Twitter.
Well, do you know, weirdly enough, and I'm not sure if this happened, right? But I told you last week, I went to a concert with my daughter.
Okay, you realize you opened that sentence with "I'm not sure if this happened."
No. I'm not sure. Did I? Right. I meant I'm not sure. Oh yes, no. I'm not sure if this happened. You're absolutely 100% right.
Right. Okay.
I'm half convinced that the guy who we went to see was propositioning some girls in the front row.
No, that's fucked.
I won't name that, but I don't know because it sounded like he was like kind of talking to people and he kind of went, no, I'm going to speak to somebody backstage, and it just seemed like he was kind of going, hey girls.
Hey.
And I'm not sure.
Want to see a puppy?
I won't name the act.
You have already named it to me, but I don't remember it because I've not heard of them.
I won't name the act. I won't name the venue because you could work out where it was, who it was, from where it was, and I'm not convinced that's exactly what happened because, of course, I can only hear what he's saying because he had a microphone.
Yeah, that's true.
And you would need to have some set of balls on you, I suppose.
Yeah, with a microphone. That's Jimmy Savile levels of confidence.
Absolutely.
I'll just do it in front of everyone, and I know that no one's going to say anything.
So I don't know, and that's probably not what was happening. But
I have a pal who went to see The Mighty Boosh. This is like a flip version of that story where Noel Fielding was in the crowd, sort of talking to people, and talked to my pal, and was like, basically found out in the conversation that she was like 16 at the time or something, and he was like, "Oh, you're never mind, you're underage," and she said, "Oh, I don't mind," and he just looked at her and went, he just went, "You're part of the problem."
That's brilliant.
That's fair enough. Good guy, Noel Fielding.
Absolutely. Shame on her. Good God.
She's much older now. She's in her
20s. That's how aging works.
Yeah, it's true. I'm just saying it was a while ago.
Scott said something. Scott said something recently. He said, "Oh, closer to my birthday," and I was just like, "Yeah, well, I mean, every second you're getting closer to your birthday." And he went, "Well, what do you mean?" And I went, "Or you're getting further away from your last birthday." And he was utterly bewildered as to what I was talking about.
Yeah, time is something people talk about, but it's actually, without someone explaining it to you, it's hard to understand naturally that time is a flow, like a linear flow in one direction, a river.
Yep. It absolutely is, and I, I always just say, I always describe time now as a collection of really quick weeks that composed of long days.
Yeah, that seems right. I mean, I was in my job a year, like it was a year since I started my job back in October, and it's next month it'll be 6 months since then. I remember, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just remember sitting there. It feels like last week. I was like, oh, I've been here a year.
And already we're getting to the end of March.
Okay, this is getting depressing now. imagine that radio banter. It's just like, oh, the days are fair drawn in.
We're heading inexorably towards our own deaths.
Yeah. Oh, we're all monkeys clinging to a rock spinning in space, and the rock itself is dying.
Exactly. Next up, we've got Coldplay.
Just to ease us into the next stage of loss.
We live in a beautiful world.
We will move from denial to bargaining now.
Back to anger. So anyway, Quest.
Yeah, let's Quest.
So as I kind of half reminded you, even though you couldn't quite remember, Nigel Havers has now just walked into a clearing with a giant radioactive kind of crystal type thing. I'll reread the paragraph, and then you can make the decision. This is us 19 minutes in, and it looks like we're about to start questing.
It's a turn up for the books.
This is a turn up for the books. It probably means that you're going to die this week as well. If we get 41 minutes of pure questioning,
that's like a good 10 choices worth of instant death.
I would say so. I would say you're just playing with fire here.
On Fire Island.
The last two seasons were an absolute shit show in terms of dying quite early on.
Immediately. In one case.
So let's do it. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
My lighting seems a bit harsh.
A little bit, yeah. What have you turned the lamp up? Were you interrogating somebody?
I was interrogating someone. It looks I look like I'm being interrogated, and you look like you're in the witness protection program.
Yeah, I'm always just a little bit in shadow.
Yeah, Lucy Orchard said to me, it looks like she's watching me doing a video cast and you doing a podcast.
Yeah, it's different. We've come to it with purposefully different energies.
Absolutely.
I want to get one of those voice changers so that I can sound like I'm in the witness protection program.
Oh, how scary is this? I just mentioned Lucy, and she started watching.
What? Wait, how do you know? Did she come?
It just popped up on screen. Lucy F. Orchard is watching.
Lucy, your ears burning?
I must have said her name 3 times, and she appeared like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Jesus.
So there you go. So hi, Lucy.
Do you know what? I actually braced to hear Lucy come back in my earpiece. It's like, hey, what? I think I'm used to Dungeons and Dragons now. With
exactly.
being like,
what did I miss? I'm just talking about the difference in lighting between Chris and I.
Yeah.
And then she wrote, for Mungo.
Yep, Forgotten Mungo.
Forgotten Mungo.
This is properly witness protection now.
That's just kind of going, where in the dog did he touch you? Right. So we're meant to kick off with the quest. Good timing. So you decide you've gone far enough northwest to avoid the headhunters village, because remember it was the headhunters. You're avoiding the village.
Yeah.
You begin to cut your way directly west through the jungle. You've not gone far when you're surprised to enter a small clearing, completely free of vegetation, not vegetarians, as I said earlier. Lucy says, get a lamp. A large green crystal lies in the centre of the clearing, glowing and radiating heat. And your choices are to walk round the crystal and continue west, to touch the crystal, or to try and chip a piece of the crystal off with your sword.
All right. We got green, right? We got green. Green is either poison or green is good, right? It can be two things. Fuck. Chip a bit off.
We're going to chip a bit off?
Or caress the crystal. What should I do? Lucy, do I chip? Do I fuck off? Or do I caress the crystal?
Right, we'll ask Lucy. Lucy, this is your chance to get involved. Does Chris walk round the crystal? Does he touch the crystal? Or does he kind of try and chip a bit off with his sword? We're not going to do anything until Lucy makes this decision.
We're going to do a single damn thing. And if Lucy didn't show up again until next week, we'll answer it next week.
We'll answer it next week. We'll just do another 37 minutes of bands. She's already answered. So,
hey.
Yep. So, Chip, she says.
Chip. Okay. That's
you going to do it?
Yeah, I'll chip a bit off. Let's see if we can take a bit of this crystal home.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Wait, what's this?
Right there. Sorry, I was answering a message there. Right, chip a piece of the crystal off. Chip. Angle.
There is one little bit of hair I've just noticed is stuck up.
One little bit of what?
Look, against the...
Do you think I ever bother about how my hair looks?
I'm not really bothered. I just didn't notice it until now. That could have been like that all day, and I was in work and didn't even notice.
So you swing the sword and bring it down heavily on the rock?
Yes. Chip a bit off, miner style.
To your dismay, the blade snaps in two, leaving you with a much shortened sword.
Jesus, Lucy.
Lose 2 skill points.
Why have you done this to us?
Lucy just mentioned you've got a Tintin quiff.
That's exactly what it is.
You've lost 2 skill points, so your skill level is now down to 8.
Wait.
A short sword now. I don't know if that's the way.
Does that mean that 2 points, that extra bit of sword, was like 2 points worth of damage?
2 points worth of damage.
Just shave 2 points off for me.
Kind of going. So you swing your sword, it breaks in 2, and you lose 2 skill points. And to be, traditionally, now I'm not a sword master extraordinaire, but I'm not entirely sure that a sword split in 2 would. I think it would probably ruin your sword.
Yeah, I think at that point you'd consider it just a. You wouldn't say, "Oh, this is a short sword." Now you say, "No, this is a broken long sword."
I mean, if you hit it in such a way, it's probably quite jagged. Probably can still do a bit of damage, but
yeah, you give someone a good nick.
Yeah, exactly. Lucy says you betrayed Mungo, so she was never going to choose right for you.
It's true. Oh, Mungo. Snipped ungloriously in half.
So now you've got the choice of touching that crystal or just leaving the clearing.
Fuck it, let's touch the crystal.
Touch the crystal.
It's clearly strong. It didn't attack us when we attacked it, so it's probably safe. See if it's like it repairs your sword. That'll be pretty good.
Slowly and nervously, you touch the glowing crystal.
Cool.
Ooh. Find out what happens next week.
Guys,
this has been Tight 10 on Titan. Good night.
I was about to say, after the countdown, we will be commencing the first of our 30-minute Mongolian throat singing solo.
Stick around.
I can't even pretend to try and do that.
Slowly, nervously, you touch the glowing crystal. A warm glow radiates through your body and you feel invigorated. Add 3 stamina points for having benefited from the effects of the regeneration crystal.
Health, green for health. The regeneration crystal.
You know what? Your stamina was down to 11.
The regeneration game.
You can now go back up to 14. So you're almost back at full stamina.
God damn.
But you'll lose.
But we did lose a good chunk of skill, and that is how we hurt things. So that's going to make things a lot tougher, I think, from here on out.
Absolutely is. So now you kind of just keep touching it or chipping at it. So you're just going to continue west.
It's like whenever you got like a cut in your mouth or a bit of your tooth comes off the edge of your sword when it's all broken and jaggy. You just got to keep messing with it.
Unfortunately, Lucy asked if it can regenerate your sword. No, it can't.
If only.
So there you go. As you continue,
can only regenerate things with a soul.
You can only regenerate things with a soul and Nigel Havers.
Can only regenerate things with a sense of humor. Sword is just a dour bastard.
It's even more so now that it's been cut in two.
Yeah, the snap bit now looks like a little frowny face.
Do you know what? We're going to cut back to the bit of the sword that's just kind of got smashed off it, right? And every so often we'll just cut back to it, and slowly but surely it's actually regenerating into a full sword again. But you're walking away, and you'll never find it.
Why don't we go back to the beach, dig up the shallow grave that Mungo's in, put them together and then touch him to the crystal? We could bring Mungo back. Because
if we go, I'm alive again, fall into it, go, ah!
We hold him up on the crystal and we get him alive again, and then he just gets impaled on the crystal. He just slides down it.
Avenge me!
So I can't die. It keeps regenerating me from inside.
Every so often you walk back and it's just Mungo going, ah!
You try and lift him off, but he heals to it before you.
Mungo,
you're scabbing. We need a toffee hammer for these scabs. Oh god, this is rank.
The toffee hammer keeps breaking on the crystal. You have to go get another one. I mean, Mungo's screaming all the while.
Poor Mungo.
We can go off piste and try this if you want.
What do you mean go off piece and try it? What, like get a scalpel and cut out sentences and then glue them other places to try and make a different story?
I'll just make an adventure up, and then when you realise that you've just basically created an immortal friend who's cursing your name all day and all night, you can move west. We can come up with a scenario for 31 minutes if you want.
Do you know what I'd love? I'd love to write sidesteps to those books where someone like picks a third option, you write a sidestep, and then you throw them back in at a random page and just see what happens to them. Throw them in at the final boss before they have anything.
To be honest, I'm surprised we haven't kind of gone off piece before just for a chuckle.
Yeah, we just start making stuff up.
Just bring Mungo back.
He was everything that was good about this show. It's going to get cancelled.
Exactly. Just a season. It was like Poochie in The Simpsons.
Yeah, he stole it, and eventually professional jealousy meant.
Right. So anyway, we're heading west. Mungo should stay dead.
Jesus, that's a heavy quote.
I hope nobody snaps that in.
Yeah. If ever you're running for prime minister, I'm gonna use that on your campaign trail. Mungo should stay dead.
Put it in question to like a really controversial comment and just kind of go.
It doesn't really make sense as a comment. Like when you, like if you said it about the Queen, like the Queen should stay dead. It's like, well, she was gonna.
Exactly. Most people stay dead.
Yeah, it's not an insult; it's an inevitability.
Yeah, it can be both.
It can be both.
Insult and inevitability.
Yeah, see when you die, you should stay dead.
But then
it's the worst. That might be the weakest insult I've ever.
That's exactly that's it. You should just do what comes naturally. But I suppose some people do actually technically medically die, and then they manage to bring them back.
My grandmother died on an operating table for a little bit. There you go. It happens.
So, I mean, if you then said to her the next day, you should have stayed dead, that's a lot more horrific.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, it becomes possibly the harshest thing you can say to someone in that case.
Yeah. Gran, you should have stayed dead.
I hope your heart attacks and kills you again, Gran.
It's an inevitability now that it's been weakened. That would probably enough to set her back over the edge.
Yeah, back over. I can't actually remember what was wrong with her. now that I'm thinking about it, it's a long time ago. The really weird
thing was she died on the operating table, but she was the surgeon.
Yeah, she was. That's why she died. It was really. She was down as the lead surgeon, but really she just tied the scalpel to her dog's paws and was like, "Go on, you have a go." Just go on.
Lucy thinks that I've gone too far, and you should never say that about a granny.
Never say that about her granny?
A granny.
Oh, right.
She's clearly never heard the second verse of "You Can't Shove Your Granny Off a Bus."
Yeah.
Where they absolutely legitimately tell you that it's all right if it's your dad's mum.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. It's been a long time.
So it's like, you can't shove your granny off a bus because she's your mammy's mammy. And then they go back and go, but if it's your dad's mom, it's your dad's mom. It's all right.
That soulless bitch can fall off the bus.
Exactly. But then you get into things like, just because she was your dad's mum doesn't mean that she wasn't someone else's mum's mum. And then you could get into a fight on the bus as you're trying to push a gran off the bus, whilst one of your cousins is saying, "No, that's my mammy's mammy."
Imagine the fight. Just that. Remember that time that John tried to push his granny off the bus with the rest of the family fighting, clawing at him like he was a member of the Beatles.
It's a weird idea, isn't it? I think I could have gone through my entire life without someone having to tell me that I probably shouldn't push my mother's mother off of a bus.
Like we've got very deep into this now.
Who's that song for? Some fucking sociopath. And if you're sociopathic enough to do it, would you even listen?
No, definitely. Well, some sociopaths, I guess, must like rules. It's like, well, conditions line up. We can have a little bit of fun. Otherwise, we get a return.
I suppose if you were in a situation where you were seeing something about to push their gran off a bus, all you could do is tell them that he shouldn't do, or her.
I'm just very
sexist in my psychopathy there.
I do remember that Hannibal Buress thing where he's talking about his cousin, and he says, I hate my cousin. I hate my cousin so much that if I walked around the corner and you and 3 other guys were beating on my cousin, I would let you get 3 or 4 more shots in before I told you to stop. I'd be like, hey, 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 that's my cousin, man. It's really good, because that's what family is like sometimes. It's like, I don't want to hurt them, but I wouldn't stop you from doing it.
Andrew, my brother, has just mentioned, and this is
on the topic of family.
This is 100% true. Our gran flung herself off a bus. If you remember, my gran did actually. My gran did actually fall off a bus.
Oh, was there a seal on at Tesco?
Neither Andrew or I were on the bus, so we can legitimately say that we had nothing to do with it.
Ah, okay. Let the record show.
Let the record state that that we never threw it. Andrew will testify this. Gran used, I think she had a bit of a death wish. She used to throw herself off loads of shit.
just as a rule, all the time.
As a rule, she would like fall down stairs, fall off buses.
As a rule?
Fall off the wagon. No, that's a joke. she
just wild into taking dives.
Yep. She was like, she'd have done really well in the WWF.
Yeah, she probably would have. WWE, surely. It must that name must have changed 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know exactly.
From the WWF to WWF's that panda, isn't
it? It's not been called WWF for probably, yeah, you're right, about 2 decades.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I used to sit up in the fucking terrace in Belfast, trying to get the aerial just right on the rafters so you could get Channel 5 and watch the WWF, watch The Rock back when he had hair. Oh man! And then if you couldn't get WWF, it was ECW.
Yes, that's right.
With
Andrew has just said, Lucy said, "Tonight on Grand Chat," and Andrew said that my gran took him out while it was a baby and ended up with 91 stitches in her head. Honestly, this is true.
Surely you stop counting after a certain point. 91.
Doctors don't stop counting.
91 stitches.
I don't know. Andrew was a baby. He couldn't even count to 91. Clearly,
oh, he was the one keeping count, right?
He was on case. 1, 2, 91. No. Yeah. Obviously, this has been told to us because we were quite young.
Yeah.
So if we can blame anybody about the 91 stitches and the validity of that, we can blame my mum, who I would push off a bus.
Yeah, I blame your mum.
I blame my mum for every single woe that I've ever encountered in my life. I just go, mum.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You fucking can't get a trolley out of the thing your pound's going in, but the thing's not unlocking. Fucking mum! Mum!
My mum's not on Facebook, so I can say that.
Yeah. I was about to say your mum's not on Facebook, but Jesus is. Jesus will know.
Exactly, Jesus will know. I did fall out with mum for a long period. I go through cycles of talking.
I didn't realize you were doing therapy. Tell me about your mum.
We'll get back to the island of the Lizard King shortly. But you always get. I've got Facebook friends that as soon as they find out that you're not talking to your mum, they just kind of they feel they have to get involved, especially if they know my mum.
Oh, that sounds like hell on earth.
You know why? But you know, they'll go, oh, but I mean, if something happens there, you'll regret it, and you know, at the time, and you're just like kind of going, You're trying to find a polite way of just saying, just stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah. You know.
You'll regret it. Well, let me.
If something happens, you'll regret it, but only if you get caught.
Exactly. Only if they find out where you are on the night of the murder.
When I was a kid, my dad has a thick East Coast accent, and when I was a kid, I just had my voice. My voice is weird, but it wasn't as weird when I was a kid. It was just pure Northern Irish, and I got my dad one day to record him saying "turd burglar" onto my phone so it could be my text alert.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
This is why people usually have the phone on vibrate and silent now.
Turd burglar.
Because you don't want to be sitting in a meeting, because you do things when you're young, and then when you're an adult, you don't want to be just sitting there. You don't want to be sitting there and your phone rings and you just hear someone going, "Smell your ma."
No, it's East Coast. It would be like, "Your ma stinks, Ken." A little bit of very regional humor for you there.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't think we have any viewers outside of Scotland, but if we did, they're presumably baffled by that.
Lucy's outside of Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy's English.
Whatever.
Yep. So I said that as if there was a kind of English.
You said that like English. Lucy is English.
I love Lucy.
Whatever, man. This is the internet. You can go wherever you want.
Lucy's my favourite English person.
Your favourite English person? That's a lofty title. You got.
Sorry, I've just been told. Sorry. She's Welsh. Sorry. That's like somebody saying I'm English. Lucy, I am sorry. She's just blocked me.
That's so much worse. Do
you know what that is?
So much worse.
Lucy and I voice note each other quite a lot, and she's got one of the most beautiful melodic voices ever. And her being Welsh explains a lot. Honestly, I could listen to Lucy all day. I don't talk to anybody on the phone. It's a kind of rule that I have unless I absolutely have to. I usually voice note a push, and there's only about 3 people that I will send voice notes to and from, and Lucy's one of them. A lot of that's down to the fact that Lucy's usually kind of driving her truck and she can't read
trucking,
stuff. But there you go. Beautiful voice of an angel, Lucy. I feel like I'm backpedaling with this. She does have a beautiful voice. I'm sorry I called her English.
Beautiful Welsh voice.
Beautiful Welsh voice. Honestly, I'm gonna,
I do remember
about it now. But there's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a reckoning.
Oh yeah. That was a nuclear mistake you just made. That reminds me of Dara O'Brien talking about when he used to work in America, and people would be like, "That's a lovely accent. Are you English?" And his response would always be the same. He's like, "No, but don't worry, you Mexicans always make the same mistake." It's good. It's a good response.
Oh. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I know. Has Lucy messaged in to express her displeasure at being called fucking English?
She said, "I'm Welsh, twat, fuck's sake." And then my brother has sent 4 laughing emojis and 2 Welsh flags.
I'm surprised she hasn't called you a lunt.
A lunt?
Yeah. In Welsh, a double L is pronounced as a C.
Oh, right, okay. There you go.
A little Welsh joke.
Welsh joke for you there. Back to the quest before I put my foot in it any further.
Yep, let's just push on.
There's been loads of stuff happening as well. Kirsty basically hated her gran and would have pushed her off a bus because she was rotten. There you go. Do you know this is quite therapeutic, isn't it? Therapeutic.
She was rotten. I never want to see her again as long as I draw a breath.
But my gran, going back to this, my gran did actually legitimately fall off a bus. There you go. We said we were going to get like about 40 minutes of questioning and went off on a grand tangent. A grangent.
we went on a gradient down the gradient.
Kirsty doesn't like her mum either. There we go. So it's all coming out. It's all coming out now.
Just going on the record, in case you watch your mum. Love you very much.
Lucy said I've called her English up to lose 6 skill points. Do you think because
Sorry, those are my skill points.
do you think because I called Lucy English, you should get your 2 skill points back?
Yes. Lucy demanded as reparation for the horrible faux pas.
You newly regenerated sword back. I don't know. I'm going to leave that to Lucy. If Lucy decides you can go back and get your regenerated sword because I'm a massive twat, then so be it. She's got till the countdown ends.
I wanted to make a point.
She's already said it. Give Chris his points back. There you go. You're getting your skill points back, mate.
It's the very first time. Thank you, Lucy. And it's the very first time that I have ever profited from John backpedaling.
Yeah.
I'm surprised considering the amount of it you've done.
I know. There you go, Chris. You've got your skill points back. Thanks to the beautiful Welsh Lucy.
This is why I encourage audience participation, because I can get things out of it.
It hasn't done my headache any good, I'm telling you that.
Take some medication. Go to a doctor.
I've been taking medication. It's all good. It's clearly.
You said last week you were going to say a doctor.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. I'm all right. I'm clearly there's points where my headache's not hurting and I forget about it, then it comes back.
Yeah.
We discussed this.
We did discuss this last week.
Do you want me to take your skill points back? You're not my mum.
That's true.
I'd throw you off a bus. Right, so you continue to hack your way noisily through the lush vegetation with your newly regenerated sword.
Hack my way through the loose vegetarians.
The loose vegetarians are the worst.
Actually, in my experience, they're the best ones. But go on.
Loose vegetarians are the worst. As you continue to hack your way noisily through the lush vegetation, you're unaware of the 6 pygmies you've attracted who are now following you. They surround you before coming into view. They're blowpipes aimed at your exposed flesh.
Do you
wish to communicate with them or fight them?
Communicating with someone who has a dart in their mouth activated by the expulsion of breath seems like a dumb idea. Hey, what's up? Hello. Jesus Christ. I feel like I should just attack them because I feel like any conversation I'm about to have is going to lead to confrontation, considering they're at me blue darts drawn.
So you're going to attack them?
Yeah, I'm also counting on, when was this book written, in the 80s?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm also counting on sort of 80s attitudes towards pygmies. So let's so let's just attack. Fuck it.
We're gonna have to put a disclaimer on the beginning of this episode. Going, this episode contains some
outdated opinions.
Outdated opinions on pygmies and should be approached with viewer discretion as advised. Yeah.
A list of the triggers in this episode are listed at the video description.
Pygmies. Anyone that likes pygmies or grandmothers should probably avoid this episode at all costs.
If your grandmother's a pygmy.
If your grandmother's a pygmy, then hell mend you.
Fair enough. Right, let's carry on.
My grandmother was a pygmy. So you're going to fight the pygmies?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think I'll just fight. Anyone want to weigh in on this? Anyone get any insight?
Run so fast that your shell suit sparks and sets fire to them.
Sorry, what?
In the 80s, we trust. Run so fast your shell suit sparks and sets fire to them. Does anybody watching have an opinion? Should Chris talk to the pygmies or fight the pygmies? We're going to find out in a minute.
Oh my god. I don't really care. I've decided. I'll roll for it. Unless no one weighs in.
Lucy thinks you should fight them. Lucy also thought you should attack a crystal with a sword.
It's true. Lucy's a bit kill crazy.
Skill points back.
But that's an energy I can get behind. Let's fight.
Let's fight. Okay.
Set him up. Let's play. Okay. Let's see if I can actually
fight the pygmies.
We rolling 2 dice, yeah, for combat.
Wait a minute. We don't know yet. You do not advance more than 2 steps before the pygmies raise their blowpipe to their mouth and fire 6 darts at you. Roll a dice.
Wait, hold on. This is just me being knocked out, isn't it?
Roll a dice.
That's a gentleman's 3.
A gentleman's 3. Lose 3 stamina points.
Fucking hell.
3 of the darts hit you. That's you back down to the 11. That's you back to the pre-regeneration crystal.
Pre-regeneration
crystal.
Okay, so no fight then.
You've been hit by 3 darts.
Yeah.
The darts are tipped with a tranquilizing compound. You fall unconscious to the ground, and when you wake up again, the pygmies are nowhere to be seen. Your sword is still in your hand, but your backpack is empty. You've lost all of your possessions and your provisions.
You didn't have any?
Yes, you did. You had leather armor, a hand axe, and rope.
Oh, those things.
You'll probably keep your leather armor, I'd imagine, because you're wearing it.
You'll wake up naked.
You've lost your hand axe, your rope, and 10 provisions.
I'll be honest, that would terrify me if I got blow darted into unconsciousness and then woke up with no clothes on. It's just like, what the fuck's happened, and how many days is it going to be before I can walk right?
That's the opposite. That's the opposite of a good night out.
It depends. It entirely depends. Minus the tranquilizers.
Wake up, slight high.
Or even just a lower dosage on the tranquilizers. I'll accept that.
You also lose 2 luck points.
Oh, fuck off.
Your skills currently 10, your stamina is 11, and your luck is 7. You've got no food. You've only got a sword and leather armor.
I'm all out of hand axes. She's turned the hand axe against me.
Exactly. Oh man.
Jeez, this is a low point.
I
like to imagine I wake up with tears in my eyes, and the only thing I managed to say as I start back on my journey across this grassy, sandy ground is just, I want Mungo back. Where's Mungo? Bloody pygmies stole all my stuff.
Lucy has just said, do the opposite of whatever she says. Unfortunately, that has created a paradox, because if Lucy tells you to do the opposite of what she says and you do the opposite of that, then you have to listen to everything she says. And if you have to listen to everything she says, then you have to do the opposite of everything that she says. And if you do the opposite of everything that she says, the last comment means that you have to do everything that she says. Write this down. Write it down.
I'm not writing it down. Let's carry on.
Keep writing until your hand hurts. Pressing on further west, you notice that the ground is becoming wetter and softer. Soon you're ankle deep in water. The trees thin out and you find yourself wading through thick black mire.
Can I just turn around? Clearly I've hit the sea again.
The marshland stretches out in front of you as far as you can see. Suddenly you hear the sound of squelching behind you. You're surprised to see a strange creature run past you. It's small, with green reptilian scales. Its arms are long and hang down to the ground, and it moves rapidly over the marsh on its webbed feet. It pays you no attention. Do you wish to call out to the creature or continue trudging west?
We don't even need to go. I'm calling out to the creature. If I have the ability to make a little lizard friend, it's happening.
Okay.
There is a Mongo-shaped hole in my heart right now. I need to fill it, and if I can't fill it with this little lizard man or woman, then I will have to fill it with online shopping and alcohol.
The creature halts suddenly and looks over its shoulder to stare at you in bewilderment. Its wide mouth opens and a pink forked tongue darts out and recoils just as quickly. Its big eyes look full of sorrow. But then you realise that the creature is a cunning marsh hopper. Despite their pathetic appearance, marsh hoppers will often lead unwary victims into the lairs of carnivorous marsh beasts for the price of a few scraps of meat. However, no creature knows how to cross treacherous marshlands better than a marsh hopper. The marsh hopper beckons for you to head it to follow across the marsh. Do you wish to follow it or continue west alone?
You've just told me it leads people to their deaths. You just said that.
However, it also says no creature knows how to cross treacherous marshlands better than a marsh hopper.
Yeah, it would have to if it knew how to lead people into their deaths. That's like saying...
I think it's, are you willing to take the risk of following it for a bit, for an element of safety?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's like saying, do you know what that is exactly like? That's exactly like you find like an old man in a fucking forest in a war zone, and the old man is just covered in landmines, and every time he walks a little bit, he sets a landmine down, but nobody knows a better way around the forest than the man who places landmines behind him. Would you like to follow behind the man who places landmines behind him, keeping in mind that he does know his way out of this forest? Oh, but be careful. There's landmines.
Chris, I'm giving you all the information I have, right?
Do you know what? I love a landmine. Let's follow it.
You decide whether you want to follow the march off or not.
I've already decided. Let's go. Following it.
I can ask
you
Lucy.
Are... And no,
Lucy
I'm not going to ask Lucy. It better be. If it's Lizard King, we can pack up, boys. Let's go home.
That's not the Lizard King.
I want you to know that I'm not following it because I believe it's going to lead us out of the forest or marsh. I'm also not following it because it's interesting. I'm following it because I'm going to force this creature to love me, to fill the Mungo-shaped void in my heart. You're going... I say that as I take off after it across the marsh. I scream, "You're going to love me!"
Let's do it.
Full speed. That's the energy you got to come with when you adopt dogs as well.
Your first stop should be to the clinic after the pygmies.
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
That's probably, yeah.
We start smelling weird smells.
Sandyford Clinic of the Lizard King.
We start getting an itch or...
Yep. Sinking knee deep in the slimy marsh, you struggle to keep up with the agile marsh hopper. Suddenly it turns south and once again beckons you to follow it. Do you wish to continue following the marsh hopper or continue heading west?
Wait, so it was going west, then suddenly went south?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go west then. Oh no,
go west.
I kind of want to just leave it now.
Right, good call.
I feel like if I follow it now, that's it. It's just getting a bad feeling.
Although you're expecting some terrible beast to rise out of the water, everything remains calm. Gradually, the ground becomes firmer underfoot, and soon you're out of the water and walking through thick mud. Keeping a watchful eye on the terrain and sky, you're unaware of the disgusting soft bodies clinging to your legs. It's only when you notice some discomfort that you look down to see giant leeches wrapped around your calves. Roll a dice.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. We have a 2.
Lose 3 stamina points.
Fuck off.
3 leeches are sticking to you. Your stamina's down to 8.
fuck's sake, we're getting this is death by 1,000 cuts.
Death by 1,000 cuts. So yeah, death by 6 pygmies.
Death by 6 pygmies plus a number of leeches.
There we go. So you're still alive. You're fine.
Yeah, alive and kicking, making it through, hydrated.
Lucy just wants to state for the record that she had nothing to do with that. After checking yourself carefully to make sure you're finally rid of the parasites from the marsh, you continue west across the muddy plain. Ahead you see 2 hills and you decide to walk towards the gorge dividing them.
Okay. Bit railroady, but okay.
We're getting close to cliffhanger time. The ground rises and you're at last away from the difficult terrain. The jungle and marsh are behind you. Grass and flowers make the island appear lush and beautiful, but you know you cannot afford to relax. It's not long before you reach the gorge and you see that it runs between several hills in a westerly direction. Do you wish to walk down the gorge or rather climb to the hill to your right? That's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah. Descend or ascend.
Descend or ascend. The classic dilemma.
Make your choice.
We did a fair bit of questing there, Chris.
We did, and we did a fair bit of questing without a fair bit of dying.
Absolutely. 6 seasons.
We made some bad choices, but we managed to get at least some of those reversed.
Exactly. 6 seasons in, and we have now finally done a bit of questing in an episode. So there you go. That's the most choices I think we've ever made in one.
This has actually made me think about a feature for the show.
Make choices?
No, but like,
what would Lucy do?
what would Lucy do? We could call it what would Lucy do? But the idea is that it is the option to once per season you get one reverse decision.
Ah, I like the idea.
You get one Sands of Time. We do a rewind. Right back.
Yeah, no, do you know, I'm willing to.
Especially since next season is the big one, as we all know. Except, do we all know? But next season's the big one. Oh, The House on Sentinel Hill.
Yeah.
Not written in the 80s.
Not written in the 80s.
And also a full cosmic horror.
Set in the 1920s. And I will say that well, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but there's a slightly different dynamic in that one.
Mm-hmm. Be slightly different recipe, not the same stats, same everything.
Yeah, so it's quite an exciting one. I think we're really going to get right in about that one.
Can I get set in amongst it?
Yeah.
We'll fly in amongst it like with a claw end of a hammer.
So that's season 7. But let's remember that we're not at season 7 yet. We're still Island of the Lizard.
And we're still alive and still kicking.
Still alive, even though you made lots of choices. Usually lots of choices for you equal death.
I get bored of this is clearly a mistake or carry on. That's the choice. Like here's something that isn't of much note, but it is something, or carry on west. And it's like always that thing of note will usually try and kill you. But what are you doing buying a book if you're not going to read each of the pages? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. There's a great Judge Dredd comic. It must be nearly 10 years old now. Maybe not quite. I'm losing track of time. I've got no idea. But there's a Judge Dredd comic about and you can read it as an adventure game book.
No way.
But this is where it gets interesting. You can also read it straight.
How?
Well, if you read it straight, you're seeing what's happening from Judge Dredd's perspective.
Yeah.
And if you read it as a kind of going, should you go left or right sort of thing,
yeah,
you're having an adventure from the other character's perspective.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I don't know if you remember much about 2000 AD, but they used to have like people in Mega City 1 were suffering from like a thing called future shock.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't handle certain elements of reality.
Yeah.
And one of these was apparently people thinking they were trapped in a game book was one of them. So you can read it. You can read it as this character in a game book, or you can read it as Judge Dredd, wondering what's going on. So he's kind of going, what's this guy doing? He's kind of going, well, you turn left and then you go to box 15. But, you know, it takes Dredd 15 boxes to kind of go, what is this guy doing? And he's kind of meandering around this story. Well,
that's a really cool idea.
It's very clever. I'll need to look it out, and next time I see you, show it to you. It works really well. It's very, very bizarre and very well. Obviously, it's not like a quest of this length. It's only like 6 pages long. But
you did watch Bandersnatch, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Bandersnatch was a good one of those.
Bandersnatch was very good. They've done a couple more since.
Have they done more Choose Your Own Adventure things?
Yeah, they've done more of that kind of idea. It wasn't Black Mirror, but they did an Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt one.
Really? I've never actually watched that show.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's actually quite good. But they did the last episode of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's interactive.
Really? That's really weird. Yeah. For a normal like Black Mirror's an anthology show. Yeah. There's completely different realities in each thing. Well, actually, no, that's not entirely true. There's actually a lot of crossover, I think, between some of the different worlds. I think there's like a few different realities in Black Mirror.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's a lot of kind of decent kind of shows like that have layers. And well, like apparently, you know, there's I don't know if you ever watched Fargo, the TV series.
Yeah.
There's subtle hints with interconnectedness of those seasons that aren't necessarily explicit.
That first season of Fargo was it was so good with Martin Freeman and
and Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton, thank you. We've ran so over talking about this though.
We've actually, we've been doing quite a good job of not running over lately. So there you go. So this is our gift to our viewers. Lucy loves Kimmy. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's very good. But anyway, so it does its whole run. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt does its whole run, and it has a very definitive ending. But then about 6 months later, they come up with this kind of interactive epilogue.
Huh. That's quite cool.
I wouldn't go right into that. I'd watch the show first. It's actually quite good.
Anyway, maybe one day.
Yep, we should definitely go. You're right. We're 1 hour 8 minutes in.
All right. Well, this has been another good one.
This is as always. Guys, this has been season 6, episode 4 of Tight 10 and 10. It's been Chris Ashworth.
This has been John Carruthers.
Good night.